So Tekapu is a 95-foot ex-Navy boat from the New Zealand Navy. You can see from the port side here that we're coming into its home berth at the Viaduct Harbour. So Rasheen, my co-captain, was driving at the helm, and I was just doing captain's checks to make sure that the deck was ready for docking and everything we needed was ready to go. At about this stage we're calling Viaduct Control. It's a controlled water space, and letting them know that we are approaching and asking for permission to enter the viaduct. If there's any traffic, there is a bridge basically that is there for foot traffic, which gets raised, and there's boats coming in and out of the very narrow entrance you see just in the middle there all the time, as it's a busy hub for charters. So we check in and make sure that we're all good to do an entry and approach, and they let us know if there's any traffic coming through. With a boat like Tekapu, it's we're a little bit confined for space, so there isn't a lot of room to move around, as if if there were two smaller boats we'd be a bit better suited. The Viaduct Harbour is basically in the heart of Auckland City in New Zealand, and we have a permanent berth there on the left hand side, just as you go in through the gates there, and that's where we have the boat berthed. So at this stage what I'm doing is I've stopped using the rudders to steer the boat, and I'm now setting the RPM to my preferred range, which is about 800 RPM engine revs on the port and starboard engine, and I'll be using the gear levers essentially, or the gear engages to essentially put the props into gear and push the boat forward. Now, the way this boat's set up is we can engage the shafts partially, and we don't have to engage them fully, and it will give us the desired effect of outputting just a bit of the power or all of the power that's being produced by the engine. So essentially it gives us a lot of control. Now this boat will be turned as we go into the viaduct. You'll see here I pause, just waiting for traffic or to line up my entry. As you know, docking a boat of this size is probably the most nerve-wracking part of any journey, and I like to spend a little bit of time just judging the wind, judging how the boat's going to move, and planning my approach. Once I've decided to go, there's not too much problem if I have to back out, but I like to give myself plenty of time and plenty of room to manoeuvre. The boat doesn't have any bow thrusters, so there is nothing pushing the front and back of the boat around. Essentially, we are reliant on the propeller shafts on the starboard and port side to push the front and the back of the boat around. So as we come in through the gate here, I'm coming around to the right hand side, and we'll be heading off to the left in just a moment. The other things I'm doing is just checking for traffic that might not be on the VHF radio, and making sure that my deckhand is ready to go and has plenty of time to set herself up for the job that she's going to be doing shortly. This is an early attempt during the end of summer. The boat is being captained by myself for about its 15th journey with me at the helm, and I'm moving extremely slowly here just because I'm still very conscious of the fact that I've got plenty of time, there's no traffic today, and I'm trying a slightly different technique. What I've learnt is that you can see here on the approach I'm coming in, and I've already got the bow of the boat pointed towards my berth. Now lately what I've been doing is I've changed that approach, so I go straight in and then actually turn the boat 90 degrees and then drive straight into my berth. And you'll see shortly why that is. The berth is a berth for a 30-metre vessel, and at just under 30 metres it's a very comfortable spot for us. We do have some piles off to the right hand side of the boat, so starboard side of the boat, and my job's to get the boat in next to the wharf and close enough so you can see Rasheen popping out now with her rope hook, is able to grab the rope and attach it to the boat. So the first line she's going to grab is going to be our spring, our bow spring basically, and this is the only rope she needs to be worried about attaching. This will stop the vessel from moving too far forward, and it gives us all the time we need to basically sort out the boat and let it rest and let it settle. So just for comparison, that's a 60-foot Nordhaven off to the port side of where we'll be pulling in, and you'll see in a moment that this vessel at 95 foot is quite tall, and obviously it's quite a long vessel as well. I'm taking it extremely slowly here, but I think one of the things I do differently now is that rather than trying to turn into the berth like I'm doing in this video, I now take a straight approach into the berth. And the reason for that is that as we move up to the berth and move into place, you'll see as Rasheen grabs our spring line that the stern of the boat will start to drift out to the starboard side. And you can already see a little bit of that happening now. So my job's to come in very close and obviously make sure that we've got an easy reach for our linesperson to make sure that they are able to get the lines. So you can see our herb garden there on the left hand side that normally lives on the boat. We've been away on this trip. This trip we've been away for quite some time, and the lines are not where we originally left them. But we planned for this, and obviously coming in nice and slowly into the dock is very important. It's a relatively calm day wind-wise, but there is a swell from the ferry traffic that comes past, so we need to be very careful because the boat does move very quickly, and being quite tall there is quite a lot of windage as well. You can see there we've got on the dock, you can see our one of our stern lines, and you can see Rasheen now reaching over for our forward spring. So as she reaches down, she's got plenty of time basically to grab the line and then walk with the line down to the bollard that she will attach the line to. So she comes under and on, and then signals by yelling that the line has been put on. At this stage, up at the helm, I can relax a little bit, knowing that the boat won't drift too far forward, and if all else fails, I can just take the boat out of gear. The problem is, of course, is that we've got the stern still drifting out to the starboard side right now, and you can see the gap starting to form, and you can see the bow heading off to the port side. So I'm not aware of this, obviously, when I'm up at the helm, because I don't have that line of sight, and while I can see what the nose is doing, it's very hard to get a very, I guess, a good judgment of where the nose is going. And I pop out to have a look, and I can see here that the bow is port side and the stern's drifting starboard, and so I'm going to go in here and engage forward gear on my port side engine, and that's going to push the nose around, and you'll see the effect takes about 5 or 6 seconds, and as we count through you'll start to notice the boat moving, and remembering no bow thrusters, so I can't just squirt the bow thruster to push the nose out. This is the propeller moving in a forward motion. The reason I use forward is that spring's holding me securely in place, and if I was to use starboard we'd start to move backwards, and we don't want to do that. We want to continue to move forward and be held on by that spring, but not being too reliant on it either, taking good note of what the boat's doing. So here we are in an almost perfect position in terms of lining the boat up. On this occasion, what I'd actually realised is that the forward spring had been, the length of it was not as we normally set it, and the boat is almost sitting directly up against the dock at this point. So it's not ideal, but obviously that's just what it is. So I've gone downstairs now. We've got a boarding platform which requires 2 people to release it. It's quite heavy, and I'm downstairs at the moment helping Rasheen go ahead and put the platform down. I'll then get off the boat and I'll walk down and hand her one of the bow lines. Sometimes these are ready to be hooked up, but as you can see, they're actually lying in a different position. We've been away from the dock for quite some time. There's been a lot of weather, and because all of our lines live on the dock, there was there's obviously not exactly where we'd left them. So we've got 3 lines on our bow, and using 32mm line, and I passed one up to Rasheen and she's fastened it, and you'll see here I'm preparing to pass her, throw her actually another line which she'll attach. Some of the friendly staff from the marina just made a comment about the fact that my lines have been moved, and it happens. I've been away for a while, and we've got since put in a plan in place to better manage our lines and better manage our line handling when we're leaving the dock, and better deal with the situations that might crop up. If the wind is blowing quite a bit, we can find ourselves off the dock quite a bit. It's a good day today, and there were no real issues. So anyway, that concludes this video, and I hope you've enjoyed. We'll continue to do our thing and enjoy our boating. Yeah, thanks.